Happy birthday, Dad. That's all my daughter texted. No call, no visit. Just 2 words at 11:47 a.m. I stared at my phone. 72 years old today. Same birthday I'd had for 7 decades. She'd known about it for at least that long. The dinner reservation was for 6. Place called Riverside Grill. I'd made it myself 3 weeks ago. Reminded Jessica twice. She'd said yes both times. Wouldn't miss it, Dad. My phone buzzed again at 4:13 p.m. Dad, something came up. Can we reschedule? I called her. She didn't answer. Sent me to voicemail. I sat there in my living room, wearing the blue shirt Jessica had given me last Christmas, the one she said made me look distinguished. I'd pressed it that morning, spent 20 minutes getting the collar right. The phone rang at 4:47. Hey, Dad, sorry about that. Kevin got promoted today. District manager. It's a huge deal. We're taking him to Morton's Steakhouse to celebrate. You understand, right? Subscribe and write what time it is where you are right now. I understood perfectly. Your husband got promoted. Yeah, isn't that amazing? 20% raise, plus the company car. We've been waiting for this for 2 years. Today. I know, crazy timing, but the regional VP is only in town tonight, so we have to do dinner now. You get it. I got it. Happy birthday, by the way. We'll do something next week. Promise. She hung up before I could respond. I sat in that blue shirt until 7:30. Then I changed into my regular clothes. Put the shirt in the donation bag. Didn't want to look at it anymore. The reservation at Riverside Grill went unused. I'd requested the corner table, the quiet one by the window where Martha and I used to sit, where I'd planned to tell Jessica about her mother's final birthday, the one where Martha had made me promise to keep celebrating, to not let the years slip by unmarked. That was 3 years ago. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. 8 weeks from diagnosis to funeral. Jessica had cried at the service, said all the right things, told everyone how close they'd been, how much she'd missed their weekly calls. Those weekly calls had stopped about 6 months before Martha got sick. I'd noticed. Martha pretended not to. I opened my banking app at 9:15 that night. The blue light made my living room look cold. $4,800 transferred March 3rd. Kitchen renovation? Jessica had texted. The contractors need a deposit. $2,200 February 12th. Kevin's car repair. Transmission went out. $3,100 January 18th. Property tax. Short this month, Dad. Can you help? I scrolled back. The numbers blurred together like a highway at night. $6,200 December. Christmas shopping and the kids' gifts. $2,900 November. Thanksgiving costs more than we thought. $4,100 October. Furnace died. Emergency. September, August, July. Every month had at least 1 transfer, usually 2. I counted them. Took me 40 minutes with a notepad. $47,300 in the last year, not counting the $58,000 for their down payment. Not counting the $32,000 wedding at the Belmont Grand. Not counting the $18,000 for Kevin's investment opportunity in his brother's solar panel company that folded after 11 months. $155,300 in 6 years. I'd kept the spreadsheet without meaning to. Every transfer logged, every emergency documented, every promise to pay me back saved in a separate column that stayed empty. The wedding had been beautiful. Jessica in white, Kevin in a gray suit that cost $800. I know because I paid for it. The wedding party had 17 people. The reception had shrimp cocktail and filet mignon. Open bar, 4-piece band. Martha was already sick by then. Didn't tell anyone. Didn't want to overshadow Jessica's day. She'd sat through the whole reception with pain medication in her purse. Smiled in every photo. Danced with me during the father-daughter dance while Jessica cried and told her she was the best mom in the world. Martha died 7 weeks later. Jessica visited twice during those 7 weeks. Once for 40 minutes when Martha was still lucid. Once for 20 minutes the day before the end when Martha mostly slept. Both times Kevin had waited in the car. Said hospitals made him uncomfortable. I'd called Jessica the night Martha died. 2:47 a.m. She'd answered on the 6th ring. "Dad, what's wrong?" "She's gone." Silence. Then crying. Real crying, I think. "I'm coming over." She arrived at 10:30 that morning. Brought coffee. Hugged me. Helped me call the funeral home. We'd sat in the kitchen. The same kitchen where Martha and I had eaten breakfast every morning for 43 years. Same table. Same chairs. "She loved you so much," Jessica had said. "I know. You were everything to her." I'd nodded. Didn't trust my voice. "I'm going to miss our talks. We talked every week, you know." I knew they hadn't. But grief does strange things to memory, so I'd let it go. The funeral was on a Saturday. 73 people came. Jessica gave a eulogy, talked about Martha's strength, her kindness, her dedication to family. It was a good eulogy. Well written. Kevin had probably helped. He was good with words. After the service, people came back to the house. Jessica had organized it. Catering from someplace downtown. Sandwich trays. Pasta salads. Coffee urns. She'd handed me the bill 3 days later. $2,800. I'd paid it. Seemed wrong to argue about money at your wife's funeral reception. That was 3 years ago. In those 3 years, Jessica had visited 17 times. I'd counted those too. Couldn't help it. When you're alone in a house that used to hold 2 people, you notice when the third person shows up. 17 visits. Average length, 93 minutes. Usually tied to a transfer. She'd visit, we'd have coffee, she'd mention something. Kevin's car, the roof, the kids' school supplies, medical bills, never called them loans, always help. I'd helped. The alternative was saying no to your daughter, the one whose mother just died, the one who was struggling, the one who called you crying about money stress and anxiety and how hard everything was. So, I'd helped. But tonight, my birthday, the 72nd one, the 3rd without Martha. Something came up. I looked at the phone. Jessica hadn't texted again. No, sorry about tonight. No, really wish we could be there. Just that one call about Kevin's promotion and Morton's Steakhouse. The kids hadn't texted either. Emma was 12. Dylan was 9. Old enough to remember Grandpa's birthday. But maybe Jessica hadn't reminded them. Easy to forget when something came up. I made myself a sandwich at 8:30. Turkey and Swiss. Same thing I'd been eating for lunch since Martha died. She used to make elaborate dinners. Roasted chicken, pot roast, lasagna from scratch. I made sandwiches. The house was quiet. It was always quiet now. But tonight it felt different. Heavier somehow. I'd built this house in 1987. Literally built it. General contractor by trade. This was my project. Every wall, every fixture, every tile in the bathroom. Martha had picked the colors. Soft blue for the bedroom. Cream for the living room. Yellow for the kitchen because she said it made morning coffee feel like sunshine. The kitchen was still yellow. I couldn't bring myself to repaint it. Jessica had grown up here. Her height marks were still on the doorframe in the hall. Little pencil lines with dates. Jessica, age 6, 3, 9. All the way up to Jessica, age 16, 5, 6. She'd brought Kevin here for the first time in 2012. I'd grilled steaks. He'd complimented the house. Said it had good bones. Said that 3 times, actually. Good bones. 6 months later, they'd asked about borrowing money for their down payment. Not borrowing, Jessica had clarified. More like an early inheritance. You were going to leave us the house anyway, right? I hadn't planned to die yet, but I'd given them the money. Their house had good bones too. 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Nice neighborhood. Good schools for when they had kids. Emma was born in 2012. Dylan in 2015. I'd met Emma at the hospital. Held her when she was 4 hours old. She'd wrapped her tiny hand around my finger and I'd cried. First time since Martha's diagnosis. Jessica had smiled. Mom would have loved her. Martha had been dead 2 months. Dylan I'd met when he was 3 days old. Jessica had been tired. Kevin had done most of the talking. explained how expensive babies were, diapers, formula, childcare. I'd started the monthly transfers shortly after. Just until we get on our feet, Jessica had said. That was 8 years ago. I finished my sandwich at 9:15, washed the plate, put it in the drainer. The living room looked the same as it had at 4:13 when Jessica first canceled. Same furniture, same TV, same photos on the mantel. Martha and me on our wedding day. Jessica as a baby. Jessica's high school graduation. Jessica's wedding. No photos of Kevin's. Promotion. I sat in my chair, the brown recliner I'd bought in 1994. Martha used to say it was ugly. She was right, but it was comfortable and I'd already worn it in. My phone buzzed at 9:47. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Hello? Mr. Sullivan? This is Monica from Riverside Grill. We had a reservation for 6 people tonight under your name? Yes. I'm calling because we held your table until 7 o'clock. I wanted to make sure everything was okay. Everything's fine. Something came up. I understand. I just wanted to let you know we had a birthday dessert prepared. Complimentary. You'd mentioned when you booked that it was your birthday. I'd forgotten I'd mentioned that. Would you like to reschedule? We could hold the dessert for another night. No, thank you. Are you sure? It's our special chocolate torte. Chef makes it fresh. I'm sure. Okay. Well, happy birthday, Mr. Sullivan. She hung up. I sat there until 11:30. Then I went to bed. Sleep didn't come easy. It rarely did anymore. The bed was too big for one person. I'd thought about getting a smaller one. Never did. I stared at the ceiling. Same ceiling I'd installed in 1987. Textured. Martha had wanted smooth, but I'd talked her into textured. Said it hid imperfections better. She'd been right about that too. Smooth would have looked better. My phone lit up at 6:47 a.m. Jessica. Calling this time. Hey, Dad, you up? I'm up. Listen, about yesterday, I feel really bad. I waited. Kevin's promotion is just such a big deal, you know? This is what we've been working toward. The raise means we can finally stop living paycheck to paycheck. Paycheck to paycheck. While I'd transferred $47,300 in 12 months. But I want to make it up to you. How about brunch next Sunday? My treat. Her treat. With money I'd probably sent her 2 weeks ago. We can go to that place you like. The one with the good pancakes. Miller's Diner. Martha and I used to go there, before. Sure, I said. Great. I'll text you the time. Love you, Dad. She hung up. I lay there for another 20 minutes. Then I got up. The coffee maker gurgled at 7:15. Same sound it had made every morning for 6 years. I'd bought it after Martha died. She'd always made the coffee. French press. Said it tasted better. I used a Mr. Coffee because I didn't know how the French press worked and didn't want to learn. The coffee was terrible. Always was. I drank it anyway. At 8:30, I called my lawyer. Richard answered on the second ring. We'd known each other for 38 years. Built his first office building in 1986. Built his house in 1991. Frank. Happy belated. How was dinner? Canceled. Silence. Want to tell me about it? Kevin got promoted. They went to Morton's instead. More silence. I need to update my will, I said. Okay. And I need to change some things with the trust. What kind of things? Everything. Richard was quiet for 5 seconds. Come by this morning. I'll clear my schedule. I arrived at 10 o'clock. His office hadn't changed since 1998. Dark wood, leather chairs, law books on shelves that nobody read anymore because everything was digital now. He poured coffee from a carafe, real coffee, the kind Martha used to make. Talk to me. I told him about the birthday, the phone call, the text, Morton's Steakhouse. He listened without interrupting. Then I told him about the money, the transfers, the down payment, the wedding, the emergencies that happened every month. He took notes on a yellow legal pad. How much total? $155,300, give or take. He set down his pen. Frank, I know. That's not helping. That's enabling. I know. And you want to cut her off. Completely. He leaned back. The chair squeaked. I need you to be sure about this. Once we change the trust and the will, there's no going back without her knowing. These documents get filed. They become public record if challenged. I'm sure. She's your only child. I'm aware. He picked up his pen again. Okay, let's talk about what you want. We talked for 2 hours. The trust that held the house, the investment accounts, the life insurance policy, the pension survivor benefits. Everything was currently set to go to Jessica. Standard estate planning for someone with 1 child. Richard drew up new documents. The house would be sold upon my death. Proceeds would go to the hospice center where Martha had spent her final week. They'd been kind, patient. They'd let me stay in the room overnight. Brought me coffee. Never made me feel like I was in the way. The investment accounts would be split. Half to the hospice center, half to a scholarship fund Richard helped me set up. For students pursuing skilled trades. The kind of work I'd done. The kind nobody seemed to value anymore. The life insurance would go to Emma and Dylan, in trust. They'd get it when they turned 25. Not a penny before. Jessica couldn't touch it. The pension survivor benefits would go to my sister Linda. She'd helped me after Martha died. Came over 3 times a week, brought groceries, made sure I ate real food instead of just sandwiches. Jessica would get nothing. You understand she'll contest this, Richard said. Let her. It'll get ugly. It's already ugly. He nodded. I need one more thing, I said. What? I want to close the joint account, the one she has access to. He blinked. She has access to your account? For emergencies. Frank. I know. When did you set that up? After Martha died. Jessica said it would be easier in case something happened to me. She has full access. Can transfer without your approval. Yes. Richard closed his eyes. Opened them. We'll close it today. You'll need to go to the bank. Transfer everything to a new account in your name only. Okay. Do it today, before she notices anything's changed. I went to the bank at 1:30. The account had $127,000. Everything I'd saved from 40 years of contracting work. Everything Martha and I had put away for retirement, for emergencies, for end-of-life care if we needed it. The banker, a woman named Sharon, helped me open a new account. Solo. No joint access. Are you sure you want to close the other one? She asked. It's been active for 3 years. I'm sure. Just checking. Sometimes people close accounts during family disputes and then regret it. Not a dispute, just time. She processed the transfer. At 2:45 p.m., I walked out of the bank with a new account number and a checkbook with only my name on it. My phone rang at 4:17. Jessica. I answered. Dad, did you do something to the account? No hello, no how are you. Just accusation. I closed it. What? Why? Didn't need it anymore. What do you mean you didn't need it? Where did the money go? New account. Dad, the mortgage payment is supposed to transfer tomorrow, $4,800. It's automatic. Not anymore. Silence. Then her voice changed. Got sharper. Are you seriously doing this because we missed your birthday? Are you 5 years old? 5 years old. For not wanting to fund her mortgage after she canceled my birthday dinner for her husband's promotion party. I'm 72, I said. This is insane. We depend on that account. I can't just come up with $4,800 by tomorrow. Then I suggest you figure something out. Dad, you have Kevin's raise, 20%, plus the company car. Should help. I hung up. The phone rang again immediately. I declined the call. It rang 4 more times. I turned off the ringer. The texts started at 4:33. You can't do this. Call me back. Dad, this isn't funny. We're going to lose the house. How could you do this to your grandchildren? That one sat in my chest like a stone. My grandchildren, Emma and Dylan, who I'd met 17 times in 3 years, who Jessica brought over when she needed money, who called me Grandpa but couldn't tell you my birthday. I set the phone face down. At 6:15, someone knocked on my door. I looked through the window. Kevin's car in the driveway. Silver Lexus, the one he'd bought last year after trading in the car I'd paid to fix. The company car wouldn't start for another week, apparently. Jessica stood on my porch, Kevin behind her. Both looked angry. I opened the door. Didn't invite them in. "We need to talk," Jessica said. "Nothing to talk about. You can't cut off our access like that. We have bills." "So do I." "You're retired. You have your pension. What bills do you have?" "Heat, water, electric, property tax, insurance, groceries, medical, the roof that needed replacing, the furnace that was 30 years old, the truck that had 190,000 miles, little things." "Doesn't matter," I said. "It's my money." Kevin stepped forward. "Mr. Sullivan, I think we're all a little emotional right now. Let's take a breath and discuss this rationally." Rationally. The man who'd skipped my birthday for Morton's wanted to discuss rationality. "Nothing to discuss." "Dad, please." Jessica's voice cracked. "We can't make the mortgage without that transfer. We'll lose the house." The house I'd helped them buy. The one with good bones. "You have Kevin's raise. That doesn't start until next month, and we already committed that money to paying off the credit cards." The credit cards. Of course. The raise was already spent before Kevin had even received it. "Not my problem." Jessica's face changed. Something cold moved behind her eyes. "You're doing this because we went to Kevin's dinner instead of yours." "No." "Then why?" "Because you didn't even apologize." She blinked. "What?" "Yesterday. You called at 4:47, told me something came up, said we'd reschedule, hung up. Never said you were sorry." "I said sorry at the end." "No, you said happy birthday, by the way. Then you hung up." She stared at me. "This morning, you said you felt bad. That's not the same as sorry." "This is insane. You're having some kind of breakdown." Kevin put his hand on her shoulder. "Maybe we should call someone, get him evaluated." Evaluated. Like I was incompetent, like I was losing my mind. "Get off my property," I said. "Dad, now." I stepped back, closed the door, locked it. They stood on the porch for another minute. I heard Jessica crying, heard Kevin's voice, quiet, soothing. Then footsteps, car doors, engine starting. I watched through the window as the Lexus backed out of my driveway. The house was quiet again. I sat in my chair, the ugly brown one, and I waited. The texts continued through the evening. "You're being cruel. This isn't you. Mom would be ashamed." That last one arrived at 9:47 p.m. Mom would be ashamed. Martha, who'd sat through Jessica's wedding in pain, who'd died while Jessica visited twice in 7 weeks, who'd been gone 3 years while our daughter visited 17 times, always with her hand out. I typed out a response, deleted it, typed another, deleted that too. Finally, "Your mother knew." Send. 30 seconds later, my phone rang. "Jessica." I answered. "What did you say?" "Your mother knew." "Knew what?" "That you stopped calling, stopped visiting. She knew." "That's not true." 6 months before the diagnosis. The weekly calls stopped. She noticed. I was busy. She pretended not to notice, but she knew. Silence. "And when she got sick, you came twice. 40 minutes the first time, 20 minutes the second. Kevin waited in the car because hospitals made him uncomfortable." "Dad, she died at 2:47 a.m. I called you. You came over at 10:30, 8 hours later. I was asleep. You live 12 minutes away." More silence. "At the funeral, you said you'd talked every week. That wasn't true. But I let it go because grief makes people remember things differently." "Stop. You asked for money 3 days later. The catering bill, $2,800. I organized the reception. I know I paid for it." I could hear her breathing, sharp, quick. "You've paid for everything," I said. "For 6 years. The house, the wedding, the car, Kevin's business, the monthly transfers, the emergencies. All of it. Because you're my father. And you're my daughter." "Exactly. Which means you show up. Not 17 times in 3 years, not with your hand out. You show up because family matters more than money." Her voice got quiet. "I do show up. Yesterday was my birthday. I know. You canceled for Morton's Steakhouse. Kevin's promotion. I don't care about Kevin's promotion. She made a sound, half sob, half laugh. Well, that's pretty obvious. I care that my daughter didn't think her father's 72nd birthday was more important than her husband's work dinner. It wasn't just a work dinner, it was, I know what it was, you told me, 20% raise, company car, regional VP, I heard all of it. Then why? Because you didn't apologize. You didn't say, Dad, I'm so sorry, this timing is terrible, I wish we could be in two places at once. You said something came up, like I was a dentist appointment you forgot about. The line was quiet. And this morning you said you felt bad and offered brunch next Sunday. Your treat. With money I probably sent you last month. That's not fair. None of this is fair. But it's done. What's done? The account is closed. The transfers are over. You're on your own now. Dad, please. I hung up. The phone rang 6 more times. I turned it off. The next morning I woke up at 6:30, made terrible coffee, sat in my kitchen with the yellow walls. For the first time in 3 years, I didn't check my phone for transfer requests. At 9 o'clock, I turned it back on. 47 texts, 12 missed calls, most from Jessica, 3 from Kevin, 2 from a number I didn't recognize. I scrolled through. The texts escalated, started with pleading, moved to anger, ended with threats. We're going to lose everything. You're going to regret this. Don't think I won't take legal action. The kids are asking why Grandpa doesn't love them anymore. That one was from this morning. 7:23 a.m., Emma and Dylan, asking why Grandpa didn't love them. Except I'd bet money they weren't asking anything. They were asleep at 7:23 on a Saturday morning. And even if they weren't, they didn't know about the account closure or the mortgage payment. Jessica was using them, like she'd used them every time she'd brought them over. Look at your grandchildren. Help your grandchildren. Think about your grandchildren. I deleted the texts. The voicemails were worse. Kevin's voice. Calm. Corporate. Mr. Sullivan, I think we need to sit down with a mediator and discuss this situation like adults. There are resources available for family financial disputes. I'm happy to organize something. Mediator, resources. Like I was a problem to be solved with a conference room and a whiteboard. Jessica's voice. Crying. Dad, I don't understand what I did wrong. I'm sorry about your birthday. I already said that. What more do you want? You're destroying our family over one missed dinner. One missed dinner. Like the 6 years of transfers didn't matter. Like the 17 visits didn't matter. Like Martha dying while Jessica showed up twice didn't matter. One missed dinner. The third voicemail was from the unknown number. A woman. Professional. Mr. Sullivan, this is Patricia Chen from Elder Care Advocates. Your daughter has expressed some concerns about your recent behavior. We'd like to schedule an evaluation to ensure you're not experiencing any cognitive decline or undue stress. Please return this call at your earliest convenience. I played it twice. Elder Care Advocates. Cognitive decline. Jessica had called some organization and told them I was losing my mind. I called Richard. They're going to say I'm incompetent. Who? Jessica. She's already contacted some elder care group. Tell me everything. I told him about the voicemail. Did you return the call? No. Don't. They have no authority. They can't force an evaluation. She's going to push this. Probably. But Frank, you're 72, you're healthy, you run your own life, and you're making rational financial decisions. No court would find you incompetent. She'll try. Let her. We'll get you evaluated independently. I know a geriatric psychiatrist. We'll document your mental competency, then if she tries anything, we'll have proof. The evaluation happened 3 days later. Dr. Richard Howell, 60-something, gray beard, kind eyes. He asked questions for 2 hours. Where are we right now? Who's the president? What year did you retire? Can you count backward from 100 by 7s? Simple stuff. Then harder questions. Why did you close the account? Walk me through your reasoning. Do you understand the consequences? Are you trying to punish your daughter? I answered honestly. He took notes, didn't judge. At the end, he said, Mr. Sullivan, you're one of the most cognitively intact people I've evaluated in months. Your reasoning is sound. Your memory is excellent. You're experiencing appropriate emotional responses to real situations. There's absolutely no indication of decline, impairment, or diminished capacity. He handed me a sealed envelope. That's your report. If anyone questions your competency, give them this. It's dated and notarized. I put it in my safe, next to the new will. Jessica called that afternoon. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail. Dad, I talked to a lawyer. What you're doing is financial elder abuse. You're cutting off your own support system and making irrational decisions. I can petition the court to have someone appointed to manage your affairs. I really don't want to do that. But if you won't answer my calls, you're not leaving me a choice. Financial elder abuse against myself. I called Richard again. She's threatening to petition for conservatorship. On what grounds? Says I'm cutting off my support system. He laughed, hard. Frank, she's not your support system. You're hers. Any judge would see that in 10 seconds. What do I do? Nothing. If she files, we respond. We show the transfer history. We show 17 visits in 3 years. We show the cognitive evaluation. We show that you're the financially responsible one and she's the dependent one. The petition gets dismissed, probably with prejudice. She won't stop. I know. People like this never do. They'll escalate until reality forces them to stop. Reality came faster than expected. The Facebook post appeared on Thursday. I'm not on Facebook. Don't see the point. But my neighbor Linda showed me Friday morning. She'd come over with coffee. Real coffee. The kind Martha used to make. Frank, I need to show you something. She pulled out her phone. Jessica's post. Posted Wednesday at 11:47 p.m. 6 paragraphs. Started with how her mother had died. How I'd been devastated. How she'd been my rock during that difficult time. Moved to how she'd always supported me. Always checked on me. Always made sure I wasn't lonely. Then shifted. How I'd recently changed. Become paranoid, isolated. Made irrational financial decisions. How she was worried. How she'd tried to get me help. How I'd refused. How sometimes you have to make hard choices for the people you love. Ended with a plea. If anyone had experience with elderly parents refusing care, please reach out. She didn't know what to do. 328 likes. 147 comments. Most supportive. So sorry you're going through this. Aging parents are so difficult. You're a good daughter. Some skeptical. Have you considered his perspective? Maybe he has good reasons. Financial decisions don't equal incompetence. One comment from someone named Margaret. Your dad built my house in 1989. He's the sharpest person I know. Maybe listen to him. Jessica had responded. Thank you, Margaret. Unfortunately, the sharp person you knew isn't the same person now. It's heartbreaking. Linda set down her phone. Is any of that true? Which part? Any of it. I told her everything. The birthday, the money, the 6 years, the account closure. She listened, drank her coffee, didn't interrupt. At the end, she said, That girl has some nerve. She thinks I'm losing my mind. She thinks you're closing your wallet. That's different. What do I do? Nothing. People who know you know the truth. People who don't know you don't matter. But it didn't feel like nothing. By Friday afternoon, the post had 500 likes, 200 comments. By Saturday morning, someone had shared it in a local group. Fairfield Community Chat. By Sunday, 3 people had stopped me at the grocery store. First was Carol Miller. Used to go to church with Martha. Frank, I saw Jessica's post. I'm so sorry. If you need anything, I'm fine, Carol. It's okay to ask for help. We all need help sometimes. I don't need help. She patted my arm. That's what my father said too. Second was Jim Peterson. I'd built his garage in 2003. Frank, heard you're going through a rough patch. I'm not. Jessica seems pretty worried. Jessica wants my money. He blinked. That's a little cynical. It's accurate. He looked uncomfortable. Well, if you need anything. He left quickly. Third was a woman I didn't know. 50-something, concerned expression. Are you Frank Sullivan? Yes. I'm Janet. I'm a social worker with the county. I saw a post about you. I wanted to make sure you're okay. I'm fine. Sometimes people who are struggling don't realize they need help. I'm not struggling. Your daughter seems to think. My daughter wants access to my bank account. That's what this is about. Janet looked skeptical. That's a serious accusation. It's the truth. Mr. Sullivan, there are resources available. I don't need resources. I need people to mind their own business. I walked away. By the time I got home, I was shaking, not scared, angry. Jessica had taken this public, made me look incompetent, made herself look like the devoted daughter dealing with a difficult father, and people believed her. I called Richard. She posted on Facebook. Now strangers are approaching me at the grocery store. What are they saying? That I need help, that I'm struggling, that I don't realize I'm impaired. Frank, you have documentation. You have the cognitive evaluation. You have the bank records. You have proof. Nobody cares about proof. They care about the story, and her story is better than mine. Then we change the narrative. How? You respond, publicly, facts only, no emotion, just the truth. I'm not on Facebook. You don't have to be. We write a statement. You send it to people who matter. Let them share it. We wrote the statement that afternoon. 2 paragraphs. Simple. Direct. There's been some concern about my mental health and decision-making. I want to address this directly. I recently underwent a comprehensive cognitive evaluation by Dr. Richard Howell, a geriatric psychiatrist. The results show no impairment, decline, or diminished capacity. I'm making informed financial decisions based on my own priorities and values. I love my daughter, but I'm also entitled to set boundaries around my finances and my life. I hope people will respect my autonomy and privacy during this time. I sent it to Linda, to Carol, to Jim, to Margaret, who'd commented on Jessica's post. I asked them to share it. Linda posted it in the community group. Margaret posted it as a comment on Jessica's original post. Carol sent it to the church prayer chain. By Monday afternoon, the narrative had shifted. New comments on Jessica's post. Maybe there's more to this story. A cognitive evaluation seems pretty definitive. Financial boundaries don't equal impairment. Has anyone considered he's just tired of being taken advantage of? That last one got 47 likes. Jessica deleted the post Tuesday morning, but screenshots exist forever. Wednesday morning, she showed up at my house, alone this time. No Kevin. She looked tired, eyes red. I opened the door. Still didn't invite her in. Dad, we need to talk. We've talked. No, you've hung up on me and ignored my calls. That's not talking. What do you want, Jessica? I want to understand what I did wrong. I stared at her. You canceled my birthday for Kevin's promotion dinner. You visited 17 times in 3 years. You've taken $150,000 from me. You posted on Facebook that I'm incompetent, and you want to know what you did wrong. I didn't say you were incompetent. I said I was worried. You told strangers I'd changed, that I was paranoid, that I refused help. Because you did refuse help. I don't need help. I need my daughter to act like a daughter instead of a bank. Her face went red. That's not fair. Which part? All of it. I haven't treated you like a bank. $155,300 in 6 years says otherwise. That was you helping us. You offered. I offered the down payment. The rest you asked for, every month, sometimes twice a month. Because we needed it. And what did I need? She blinked. What? What did I need? In 3 years, what did you think I needed? I needed my daughter. After your mother died, I needed someone to sit with me, someone to call, someone to remember my birthday. I did remember your birthday. You sent a text at 11:47 a.m., then you canceled dinner and went to Morton's. Tears started. Real ones, I think. I made a mistake. I'm sorry, but you're punishing me by destroying our financial stability. Your financial stability was built on my money. You're my father. That's what fathers do. No, fathers help, fathers support, fathers teach. What I did was enable. This is because Kevin and I don't live the way you think we should. You think we spend too much. You think we're irresponsible. I think you're entitled. She stepped back like I'd hit her. Kevin worked his ass off for that promotion. We deserve to celebrate. I agree. Then why? Because you chose it over me, and you didn't even apologize. I did apologize. No. You said you felt bad. That's not the same. We stood there. Her on the porch, me in the doorway. What do you want from me? She finally asked. Nothing. There has to be something. There doesn't. Dad, please. We're going to lose the house. Then downsize. The kids are in school. We can't just move. People move all the time. You want us to uproot our entire lives because you're having a tantrum? Tantrum. At 72. For setting boundaries. I want you to live within your means. We were living within our means, with your help. That's not what within your means means. She wiped her eyes, angry now. You know what? Fine. Keep your money. We'll figure it out. But don't expect me to bring the kids around anymore. If you're cutting us off financially, you don't get access to your grandchildren. And there it was. The threat I'd been waiting for. Those kids are the only family you have left. Mom's gone. You don't have anyone else. And if you do this, you won't have them either. Okay, I said. She blinked. Okay. Okay. If that's your choice. It's not my choice. It's yours. No. I chose to close a bank account. You're choosing to weaponize your children. I'm protecting them from someone who's become unpredictable. I'm the same person I've always been. Then why are you doing this? Because I'm tired. Something in my voice made her stop. I'm tired, Jessica. Your mother died 3 years ago. I buried her. Alone, mostly. You came twice during the end. You gave a nice eulogy. Then you handed me a catering bill. Dad, for 3 years I've sent money every month, sometimes more. I helped with the house, the wedding, Kevin's business, the car, the furnace, the credit cards, the mortgage, the property tax, everything. Because you're my father. And you're my daughter. But you visit 17 times in 3 years. You text when you need something. You call when payments are due. You show up with the kids when you want me to feel guilty. That's not true. Last Christmas, you stayed for 45 minutes. Emma gave me a card she'd made at school. Dylan hugged me and asked if I had any candy. You drank coffee and mentioned the water heater was acting up. I sent you $12,200 the next day. Because we needed it. I know. You always need it. But Jessica, I needed something too. I needed my daughter, and she wasn't there. The tears came harder now. I was there. No. You were in my driveway 17 times. That's not the same thing. What do you want from me? I wanted you to show up for my birthday, that's all. Just that one thing. And because I didn't, you're destroying our lives. No, I'm protecting mine. She stared at me, something cold in her eyes now. You're going to die alone. Probably. And you'll regret this. Maybe. When you're in a nursing home and no one visits, remember this conversation. I will. She turned, walked to her car, stopped halfway, turned back. Mom would hate you for this. That one landed, right in my chest. Your mother, I said quietly, spent her last weeks watching you not show up. She knew, Jessica. She knew you'd stopped calling. She knew you were busy. She knew, and it broke her heart. That's a lie. 2 days before she died, she was lucid for about an hour. She held my hand and said, "Don't be angry at Jessica. She's young. She doesn't understand yet." Jessica's face went white. She was protecting you, even at the end, even while you were visiting twice in 7 weeks. She was protecting you. Stop. She made me promise not to tell you, made me promise not to make you feel guilty. So, I didn't. I let you give your eulogy about your weekly phone calls that never happened. I let you cry at the funeral. I let you pretend. Stop it. But she would not hate me for this. She'd understand, because she knew what it felt like to be forgotten by you. Jessica made a sound. Something between a sob and a scream. Then she ran to her car. Engine started. Tires squealed. She was gone. I stood in the doorway for a long time. Then I went inside, locked the door, sat in my chair, and for the first time in 3 years, I cried. Not for Martha, not even for Jessica, for the relationship that never existed, the daughter I'd wanted and the daughter I had. The gap between them. The money didn't matter. Never had. The visits didn't even matter. Not really. What mattered was that my daughter didn't know me anymore. Maybe never had. To her, I was a resource. A solution. A backup plan. Not a person. Not her father. Just the ATM that said yes. Until I didn't. 3 weeks passed. No calls, no texts, no visits. Linda checked on me, brought coffee, sat with me. Richard called twice a week, made sure I was okay. The house was quiet. But it wasn't lonely. Not anymore. Because I'd learned something. Lonely is when you're surrounded by people who don't see you. Alone is when you choose yourself. I was alone, but I wasn't lonely. On the 4th week, a letter came. Law office. Not Richard's. Petition for conservatorship. Jessica was actually doing it. I called Richard. They filed. I know, I got served too. I'm listed as interested party since I hold your trust documents. What now? Now we respond. We attach the cognitive evaluation. We attach the bank records showing the transfer history. We attach documentation of her 17 visits versus your lifetime of support. We show the judge who's actually dependent on whom. When's the hearing? 4 weeks. 4 weeks to prove I wasn't incompetent. 4 weeks to prove my daughter was the problem, not me. 4 weeks to destroy what was left of my family in a courtroom. Richard. Yeah? Is this worth it? Silence. Then, that's not for me to decide, Frank. But I'll tell you this. You have a right to your own life. Even at 72. Even as a father. Even with 1 daughter. You have a right to say no. She'll never forgive me. She hasn't forgiven you already. She just hasn't accepted it yet. The hearing was on a Tuesday. County courthouse. 3rd floor. Family court. Jessica was there with her lawyer. Expensive suit. Leather briefcase. I was there with Richard. Less expensive suit. Same briefcase he'd had for 20 years. The judge was a woman. 60-something. Gray hair. Sharp eyes. She read Jessica's petition. Then she looked up. Ms. Morrison, you're alleging your father is incapable of managing his own financial affairs? Yes, Your Honor. On what basis? He's made a series of irrational decisions. Closed accounts. Cut off support to family. Refused help. Showed signs of paranoia and isolation. Has he been diagnosed with any cognitive impairment? No, but has he been hospitalized? No. Has he failed to pay his own bills? No, but, Your Honor, he's not thinking clearly. He's acting out of anger. The judge looked at me. Mr. Sullivan, are you angry? Yes. Why? My daughter canceled my birthday dinner to celebrate her husband's promotion, then spent 6 years of financial support without acknowledgement. Have you undergone any cognitive evaluation? Richard handed up the sealed envelope. The judge opened it, read, took her time. This says you're cognitively intact. Yes, Your Honor. No signs of impairment or decline. Correct. She looked at Jessica's lawyer. Counsel, what evidence do you have of incapacity beyond your client's assertion that her father is angry? Your Honor, the respondent has isolated himself, cut off contact with family, made sudden financial changes. The respondent closed a bank account his daughter had access to. Is that correct? Yes, but... and stopped transferring money to her. Correct? Your Honor, he'd been helping with... I'm not asking what he'd been doing. I'm asking what changed. He closed an account and stopped transfers. Is that correct? Yes. How is that evidence of incapacity? Jessica's lawyer shifted. Your Honor, when considered in context, the context being that the respondent's daughter had access to his accounts and he revoked that access. Your Honor, with respect, there's a pattern of behavior. Richard stood. Your Honor, if I may. Go ahead. I have documentation showing the transfer history between Mr. Sullivan and his daughter. Over 6 years, he transferred $155,300. The daughter visited 17 times during that period, averaging 93 minutes per visit. Most visits coincided with financial requests. He handed up the documents. The judge read. Her expression didn't change. Ms. Morrison, is this accurate? Jessica stood. Your Honor, my father offered to help. I'm asking if the amounts and frequency are accurate. The amounts might be correct, but... And the visits? I visited more than 17 times. How many times? I don't have an exact count. Your father does. He documented it. He documented the transfers, the visit lengths, the financial requests. Does that sound like someone with cognitive impairment? Jessica's face went red. Her lawyer tried again. Your Honor, the petition is based on concern for Mr. Sullivan's welfare. The petition is based on Ms. Morrison's financial dependence being disrupted. That's not grounds for conservatorship. Your Honor, I'm denying the petition. Mr. Sullivan has provided clear evidence of mental capacity. He has the right to manage his own finances as he sees fit, including the right to stop supporting adult children who demonstrate a pattern of financial dependence. Jessica made a sound. Her lawyer touched her arm. Is there anything else, counsel? No, Your Honor. Then we're done here. Mr. Sullivan, you're free to go. Petition denied, with prejudice. The gavel came down. Richard touched my shoulder. That's it. It's over. We stood. Jessica was crying. Her lawyer was packing his briefcase, avoiding eye contact. I walked past them. In the hallway, Jessica called out, Dad, wait! I stopped, didn't turn around. I didn't want it to go this far. I turned. She looked smaller somehow, tired. Then why did it? I thought you'd see how serious this was, that you'd change your mind. About what? About helping us. I helped you for 6 years. We needed it. I know. Then why stop? Because you never said thank you. You never acknowledged it. You just kept asking. I did say thank you. When? She opened her mouth, closed it. I thought you knew. Knew what? That I was grateful. How would I know that? Because you're my father. Because that's what family does. Family shows up. Family says thank you. Family doesn't cancel birthday dinners for work celebrations. She wiped her eyes. I made a mistake. You made a choice. And you're punishing me forever? No, I'm just not funding you anymore. That's the same thing. To you, maybe, because money is all you see. That's not fair. It's accurate. We stood there in the courthouse hallway, people walking past, lawyers, families, court staff. What happens now? She asked. You live your life, I live mine. That's it? That's it. What about Emma and Dylan? What about them? You're their grandfather. I'm aware. So, can you still see them? That's up to you. I'm not keeping them from you. You threatened to, 3 weeks ago. She looked away. I was angry. I know. I didn't mean it. Okay. So, can we what? Try to fix this. I looked at her, really looked. She was 41, looked older, stress around her eyes. Gray in her hair she'd started coloring. She looked like Martha. Same bone structure, same eyes, but Martha had never looked at me the way Jessica was looking at me now, calculating, negotiating, trying to figure out the angle that would work. No, I said. Dad, you took me to court. You tried to have me declared incompetent. You posted on Facebook that I was losing my mind. You told strangers I needed help. You weaponized my grandchildren. I was scared. Of what? Losing my money? Of losing you. You lost me a long time ago, Jessica. You just didn't notice. I walked away. Behind me, I heard her crying. I didn't stop. Outside, the sun was bright. Too bright. Richard waited by his car. You okay? No. Want to get coffee? Yeah. We went to Miller's Diner. The place Martha and I used to go. Ordered coffee and pie. The coffee was good. The pie was better. What now? Richard asked. I don't know. The house is yours. The money is yours. The will is set. You're free. Free. Funny word. Doesn't feel free. Guilt? No, just empty. That'll pass. You sure? No, but it's what people say. I smiled. First time in weeks. We drank our coffee. Outside, people walked by, living their lives, dealing with their problems. Nobody knew what had just happened in that courtroom. Nobody cared. The world kept turning. 3 months later, I'm still here. Still in the house I built. Still drinking terrible coffee. Still sitting in the ugly brown chair. Jessica hasn't called. Emma and Dylan haven't texted. Kevin's promotion is probably going well. I heard through Linda that they sold the house, moved to a smaller place. 2 bedrooms instead of 3. I felt something when I heard that. Not guilt, not satisfaction. Just sadness. That it came to this. But I don't regret it. Because for the first time in 3 years, I wake up without dreading my phone. No transfer requests. No emergencies. No texts that start with, Dad, I need to ask you something. Just silence. And silence, I've learned, isn't always lonely. Sometimes it's peace. I've started having coffee with Linda twice a week. Real coffee, the kind Martha used to make. She showed me how. I've started calling Richard just to talk. Not about legal stuff, just talk. I've started going to church again, the one Martha and I used to attend. Carol sits with me. I've started living, not the life I planned, not the one Martha and I dreamed about during those last weeks, but mine. I'm 72 years old. My wife is dead. My daughter took me to court. And somehow, I'm okay. Not happy exactly, but okay. And for now, that's enough. If you like this story, please like it. Subscribe to the channel and share your impressions in the comments. To listen to more stories, click on the window on the right. Thank you for being with us.